Okay, dear guys, yesterday we have discussed the scaling techniques. What types of scales, that is nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scales. Now, today we'll see rating scales. Okay, so rating scales here in this rating scale, the respondents are presented by an attribute of an object and rated at some point along a numerical valid continuum to give the responses. That means a characteristics of a particular brand or particular object will be given, and we have to give ranking, numbers to them. So rating scales focuses on overall attitude towards an object or a brand. It is non-comparative. Suppose you might be liking some brand. So what rating you will give? So what is your attitude towards that brand? The degree to which an attitude should present to a project. What is the constant sum like that? So these are all the rating scale names. Feeling towards a particular objective attribute and importance attached to an attribute. So these are the types of rating scale. That is non-comparative rating scale, comparative rating scale, rank order rating scale, and then constant sum rating scale. So first we will see the non-comparative rating scale. Here the researcher does not provide a comparison point in rating. So name itself is suggesting you that it is not a comparative rating scale. So that's why researcher do not provide any comparison point. So only one brand is evaluated. Only one brand will be rated. One brand is evaluated. So it is also known as monadic scale. It is also known as monadic scale. So types of non-comparative scales. There is a sub-classification of non-comparative rating scales. One is graphic non-comparative rating scale and itemized non-comparative rating scale. So two types. So what is graphic non-comparative rating scale? Means here the categories run from one extreme of attitude in a question to the extreme level graphically. So what is your attitude in that question, and it will run like that. So categories are there that will run from one extreme end of attitude. Suppose extremely dissatisfied, then satisfied, then cannot say, then extremely satisfied. So like this, from one extreme end to another extreme end, it will follow. See the example here. How do you rate the taste of Pepsi? This is the question. So the options are like this. So excellent, very good, neither good nor bad, very bad, probably the worst. So here what is happening? So the attitude is running from one extreme to another extreme. This is the attitude you are giving, rating. So how do you rate Pepsi? Means it might be, you can say excellent, or you can say very good, neither good nor bad, or very bad, or probably the worst. So here you are not comparing the taste of Pepsi with Coca-Cola or taste of Pepsi with thumbs up. So only one brand is evaluated and only one attribute is evaluated. The taste of Pepsi, or the how the packing of Pepsi, or the content, sure, many things. So here only one attribute of a one particular brand that we are rating. So this is graphic non-comparative rating scale. Okay. Next, itemized non-comparative rating scale. Itemized non-comparative scale means here the categories are expressed in terms of numerics. Here only the what we say attitude is rated here, but here numbers will be given. See how satisfied have you been with Pepsi. So here number are given 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 0. So that is why it is itemized and non-comparative rating scale. Here numbers are given, whereas here attitude is given. Excellent, very good. Here now no number is attached with this. But here when somebody is saying 80, that means he might be probably good with that. So in the itemized and non-comparative rating scale, we give the numbers Whereas in graphic non-comparative scale, we just give our attitude towards that particular brand. Next, there are features, certain features are there for the non-comparative scales. So number of categories can be created between 5 to 10 based on the measurement. So minimum 5, maximum 10. You should not write the 20 or 30 attitudes. Minimum 5, maximum 10. So here see, I have written 5 attitudes. Excellent. If you want to add one more thing, outstanding like that, or the worst, before that worst, very worst like that. So only between 5 to 10, not more than that. Then balanced alternatives have equal number of favorable and unfavorable categories. Again, it should be an odd number. It should not be an even number. See here 5. So in between you have to write neither good or nor bad. That means we cannot say. If you want to add some more thing, then you have to add one thing at left hand side and one thing at right hand side also. You have to give balanced opinion, balanced positive opinion and balanced negative opinion also. Positive opinions are having high and negative opinions you are not putting in the scale, then scale is defective. It should not be like that. So alternative should be having equal number of favorable and unfavorable categories. Here favorable categories are 2, excellent and very good. Unfavorable categories also 2, that is very bad and worst. So it is okay. But if you are adding one more thing here, outstanding, and then favorable responses will become 3, unfavorable responses will become 2, then it is not a good scale. It is having some defective. Then unbalanced scale has more favorable and less unfavorable categories. See this. Okay. Yeah. Then odd number of categories balanced with neutral point. Even number of categories use the represent balanced scale without neutral point. So you should not provide neutral point if you want to put even one. Forced scale is also there. Respondent need to give the attitude compulsory. This is one kind of thing. Suppose we say true or false, yes or no, then the respondent supposed to give that. He cannot go away from that. So closed-ended option, either he has to agree or he has to disagree. That kind of scale is known as forced scale. Unforced scales means you can even put the options like this: do not know, cannot say. People, not necessary that every respondent know the answer for your question. Sometimes they do not know the answers. That time you have to give the options like this: do not know, cannot say, not applicable. These kind of options also you have to provide in the questions. Then it is a good one. If you are not providing the question, then people may leave it. They escape that question. If they escape, again it will be a problem for us in tabulating the responses. So that is why you have to be more careful when designing the measurement technique. So this is non-comparative rating scale. Okay. Now comparative rating scales is also there. So here the researcher provide a comparison point to the respondents. Okay. 2 brands are given and one brand is evaluated. So comparing to that brand, whether it is good or bad, you have to evaluate. So there are 2 types of comparative rating scales. One is graphical comparative rating scale. That means one attribute. Then paired comparison. I mean all the attributes you can take. Graphical comparative rating scale means comparison point will be provided here. For example, I like Pepsi when compared to Coke because it is superior, or because it is inferior, or because it is neither superior nor inferior. Note, if the respondent is liking, it means superior. Then remove other 2 comparison points. So like this. So if I say that comparison point, I like Pepsi when compared to Coke, means what could be the reason? Because it may look superior. Okay. Or I don't like Pepsi because it look inferior. So whichever he likes, remaining options you can delete. So here what we are providing? We are providing a comparison point. What is that comparison? Because it is superior, or because it is inferior, or neither superior nor inferior. Why you are liking? So if you like it, The other options probably maybe we can delete from the scale. Paired comparison means all the attributes will be given. So here only one attribute we are giving, but here all attributes we will give. Here we present two brands as the categories or choices in the question, and the question is on every aspect of the brand, not only on taste, not only on the packing. It should be on all the characteristics of the brand. For example, what brand do you prefer based on taste? You provide all the things: Pepsi, Coke, Thumbs Up, Coca-Cola, Mirinda, 7 Up, right? Everything. So based on taste, which brand you prefer? You give all the points. Then it will become paired comparison. What brands do you prefer based on fizz? Whether you prefer Pepsi or Coke, fizz content. So this is paired comparison and graphical comparison. Then we have rank order rating scale. We give ranks for the attributes. Here the respondents rank the brands probably 5 to 10 based on the certain criteria. For example, rank the brands based on flavor, saltiness, and package. So it is up to you. The question is like that. So many brands are available to you based on the flavor, based on the saltiness, and based on the package, which you have to give the rating. Then order should be either ascending or descending. You start writing the order. You start giving the rating. So then it is known as rank order rating scale. You are giving ranks. Suppose 10 brands are provided to you. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Thumbs Up, 7 Up, Mirinda, like this. So which one you order? First Thumbs Up, next Mirinda, next 7 Up. So then it's like that. So it will give some ranking. This is rank order rating scale. So why you are giving that rank means you have your own criteria, because you like the saltiness or you like the flavor, you like the package, whatever. Then constant sum scale. The last one in the rating scale is constant sum scale. So in this type of scale, the respondent is asked to divide 100 points among the various attributes of a product. So 100 points will be given. Out of that 100 points, how you divide the score for various attributes. So this type of scale help us in finding the relative importance given by the respondent to the various attributes. So then they will come to know what importance we are giving for the attributes. So which attributes has given more importance. Suppose you have taken one attribute, one brand. Suppose Pepsi. In that Pepsi, what is the price, economy, style, safety, comfort? So out of these 5 attributes, how much you will divide? For example, comfort you are saying 60 marks you are giving. Remaining 4 you are giving 10, 10, 10. That means you are looking comfort in the brand. Suppose price you are looking for price, then price will be given importance. So how you are dividing the total number of points among the various attributes, that will become in constant sum scale. So these are all rating scale. Clear? There are 4 types of rating scale. One is non-comparative rating scales, and then comparative rating scale, rank order scale, and constant sum scale. So again, non-comparative rating scales are 2 types. That is graphical non-comparative and itemized non-comparative. Then comparative rating scales also 2 types. That is graphical comparative and then paired comparison. And the third category is rank order rating scale. Fourth category is constant sum scale. Is it clear, guys? So you have to go through the notes. It is a self-explanatory so that you will understand. Do you have any doubts so far? Any doubts? Swanlata?
No, sir.
Yeah, Deepak? Deepak. Okay, moving forward, we have attitude scales. So far, we have seen the rating scales. Now, attitude scales. Yeah, attitude scales are designed to measure the attitude of an individual to one or more aspects of the objects. So, what is our attitude towards different characteristics or different aspects that we will measure here? So, types of attitude scales are 3. One is semantic differential scale, another one is Stapel scale, then Likert scale. Three scales are there. So what is semantic differential scale? It is a bipolar adjective or phrase scale, consists of 7 points to rate any product, company, concept of interest. So two poles will be there, like North Pole and South Pole. So two poles, two extreme ends will be there. So in that we provide 7 points. And on that, based on 7 points, we rate the product, we rate the company, or we rate the concept of interest, like that. So this is what the semantic differential scale. Here the respondents are given a group of attributes of a product scaled on 7 points between two adjectives such as good or bad, clean or dirty, like that. Suppose you see, take an example of detergent. A person has given the following points to the following attributes. Cleaning ability -7, gentle on hands +7, protection of color +1, foaming capacity +6. Like this, he has given the rating. See here, two poles will be there. I will wait for a minute. I will minimize this. Control minus. How to minimize it? Is it visible, guys? I mean, we have to see there. So this is one extreme and another extreme and here is there. 7 points will be here. +7, +6, +5, +4, +3, +2, +1. Okay. Now, these are extreme ends are given. So this is the some semantic differential scale is as follows. So here he has given a rating, no? So how we have divided it? See, high cleaning ability, high protection of color, high in gentle on hands, high foaming capacity, then low, 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 low. So extreme. One side you will write as high capacities, another side you write it as low. Now when he's saying cleaning ability -7 means, so you have to cleaning ability, low cleaning ability, where it is there? Cleaning ability, here it is there. Then protection of color +1, gentle on hands +7, and then for foaming capacity 6. So you have to draw like this. So this will become a semantic differential scale. Points will be there. So you will select that point. See, if another respondent has given the following points to the attributes of some other detergent in the following manner: cleaning ability +1, protection of color +6, gentle on hands +1, foaming capacity +2, then the semantic differential scale will be as follows. The points are like this. Now you have to dotted points, the rating are given by them. So there are two approaches to analyze the semantic differentials data, that is aggregate analysis and profile analysis. Simply it is like, locating the points in the graph. So some rating is given based on the responses given by the respondent. We have to locate the point. Okay. So how we do the analysis means, one is aggregate analysis, another one is profile analysis. In the aggregate analysis or the summary scale, for each individual, the scores across all objectives are summed. So for every individual, we will, scores they will be given them. Based on the individual scores, comparison will take place. Suppose 10 people are judging about that particular detergent soap. So how many points they have given? Based on that, that product will be evaluated. Suppose you 10 are there in the class. 10 people are giving 10 different ratings to the particular detergent soap. So overall, whether it is giving positive score or negative score, based on that we can say that is known as aggregate analysis. Here individual scores are will be important. Like profile analysis means we will calculate the mean, median, mode, average. Based on that we will judge the brand. Then next is Stapel scale. It is a simplified version of semantic differential scale. It is not here, we won't give any high parameters or low parameters. It is simply a simplified version. It is a unipolar scale. Here there is no bipolar. Bipolar means here one pole is there, another pole is here there. Pole doesn't mean that physically you find that. There means there is some extreme end like that. So there is no bipolar here. It is a unipolar scale. So numerical interval scale. It is also numerical intervals will be there. Suppose gentle on hands. This is the detergent feature. How you rate? Whether you rate -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, -3. So -3 means very, very, very bad like that. Then very bad, bad, cannot say, good, very good, extremely good like this. So these points will be given some number. So we are just rating it. So then it is known as a Staple scale. Then Likert scale. So Likert scale means it is an interval scale in which we present a statement to the respondents and ask them to respond in agree or disagree with the statement. So we provide one response statement and ask the respondent whether they can agree or not. It means we are measuring the extent of agreement or disagreement of the statement. While measuring the social attitudes, these scales are very much useful. Okay. For example, Bata offers wide range of choices to the footwear to its customers. So this is the statement provided by the Bata people. Now, either you can extremely agree or undecided or disagree or strongly disagree. It is up to you. Suppose Mycel Sandal soap is a very good soap. It is gentle on hands. Now that statement I am giving. Now you can agree. It is up to you. Rather than rating, you are expressing your extent of agreement. Yes, it is fantabulous, marvelous, outstanding. It's up to you. What you want to rate. Scores are not printed on the questionnaire. It is a note. I am just given either you can write this or write. So what score you will give, it is up to you. So if for strongly agree, I have given 5. You can give 1 also, not a problem. It is up to you. Scores we should not print on the questionnaire. So this Likert scale assigns and value each of the responses. So total score is converted which respondents of the given like this. So if there are 30 students are there, 30 into 5, 150 most favorable responses, 30 into 3 neutral responses, 30 into 1 most unfavored responses like this. So likewise another one. If total score is respond is greater than 90 favorable, less than 90 unfavorable, equal to 90 like this. So what are the advantages and disadvantages and some other scale? This we will see in the next class, guys. Okay. So these are all about the scaling and rating scale and attitude scales. So please go through it and notes are very, very important. You have to get command on this. Then only you can do the research. Any doubts so far on rating scales and attitude scales? Any doubt, guys?
Yeah, sir.
Please go through it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.